Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 55 of the GuildMag podcast. We are back for another week God, I messed that up. As always, with Aaron and Sandra. There we go. So hey guys, how you doing?
Hello.
That's the one you were looking for.
That was, yeah.
Hey guys.
How have you been? You alright?
Pretty solid.
Dandy.
It's been a while since I've been on here.
Yeah. No. Welcome back.
Yeah, cheers. So this week, there's no real big news to cover. So since Aaron and I weren't here last week, we're going to kind of go over our anniversary shenanigans, whatever you call it, like our retrospective.
Our shreds of nostalgia.
Yeah. We're also going to talk about the latest current event stuff that's been happening with Seis. Is that how you actually say her name? Seis.
I
was thinking Seis, like
Seis?
the letter in
like the number 6.
the number in Spanish. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
yeah.
I'm also not a linguist, so that's something to consider.
Works.
Somebody at ArenaNet needs to tell me how to pronounce that. So yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And just some bits and bobs and stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, Sandra's got a beautiful picture of a butterfly this week because the whole of California has gone back to like the 1800s.
Yes, we've regressed and can only communicate by voice and smoke signals.
Yeah, I've heard that place is really going down the drain. No, I'm just joking.
Apparently, yeah.
Alright, so as always, we will kick off with the week's news. So patch-wise, there was a tiny little patch this week, just a bug fix to fix the issue where more than 5 players couldn't be in a guild hall instance.
Which is an awesome fix, by the way.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, alright guys, let's meet at the guild hall, and then after 5, every person after 5 would be like, oh, new instance. Oh, new instance. It was the worst, so I'm really glad that this is in.
Yeah, pretty much. In the gem store this week, it is royalty week, and there's a whole load of sale items. Like, actually looking at the list of what's on sale, there's a massive, just a massive load. So things like the Royal Terrace Pass, mini golden pig, which I actually considered getting.
I thought you already had it.
No.
Somebody had it the other day, and I was like, "This isn't Rowan's, is it?"
No.
I like how he's like, I considered getting it, and then when you ask if he already had it, he's like, "No, you're crazy. Why would I get that?"
Well, yeah, it was like dirt cheap. It was, I can't remember how many gems
Conflicting
it was,
opinions.
but it was like super cheap, and I was like, "Oh, is that what? Oh, I'll have a pig for that amount."
I don't have the pig.
No, I don't yet, but that might change. Things like Farron's rapier, noble outfits, total makeover kits are 20% off. So, time for like an autumn makeover, is that a thing?
Yeah, but actually, there are people like who RP like season change.
Well, it's like the first day of autumn play technically, so there you go.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
But new to the gem store, we have the Amethyst Aegis, which is straight from Guild Wars 1, and I'm seriously considering buying it. It might be the final kick I need to actually make a chrono tank.
That's true. It'd be a great chrono shield.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like it as like a thing you would take into melee combat, but as a spellcaster shield, it could work quite well.
That's the reason I want one. Like,
plus it's purple. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think it's quite cool how they're bringing a load of Guild Wars 1 weapons and skins into Guild Wars 2 lately. And this one is literally just straight like, it's barely even changed from Guild Wars 1. It's literally just the weapon.
It's just got a graphical update.
Yeah,
that's it.
It looks quite cool. It's got little purpley, I guess, sparkly effects that come off it as well, like quite
shimmer.
Subtle. Well, no, like it shimmers obviously like the Guild Wars 1 does, but it's also got like a little particle effect on it as well, right in the back.
Nice.
Which looks quite cool, quite subtle.
Now we just need the elemental sword, and I will be I will be happy.
Indeed. So yeah, I may purchase that. We also have the new Shattered Bloodstone Circlet, which is dyeable, and it's basically just like a Bloodstone crown, essentially.
Crown.
I'm never
Yeah.
I'm never one for the crowns. Not a crown guy.
It's nice, but doesn't it? I think it costs like 800 gems. I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I just wouldn't spend 800 gems on like a small crown personally.
I know crowns are for like the rich and the affluent, but that's a little too much.
Yeah.
For a wee crown.
It does look nice. It's not a bad looking skin by any.
It is. It's actually quite nice. I liked it. I haven't picked it up though, but I like that they made it dyeable.
Oh, Astralaria says 400. Really?
See, 400, I can get behind that. Still not a crown guy, but I can get behind 400.
So as Lint said, I'd like crown skins. They didn't make them either too small or too large. I haven't actually seen. It looks alright. Like I only viewed it on like a Sylvari though, so.
I viewed it on a human and it looked fine.
I wonder what it looks like on the chart.
It was sort of only around the front though, not like.
I was gonna say
it was more like a tiara, not like a crown.
I don't know if you guys know, but Sylvari and human models are pretty much the same. So
I know.
I think we have some conflicting opinions here.
Well,
anyway,
the Sylvari at least have leafy hair.
Yeah,
that's true.
For all those Farron lovers out there, there is a mini Jungle Lord Farron now in the gem store. Isn't he pretty much like almost naked?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
It's exactly how he shows up in Verdant Brink.
Yeah.
So, if you fancy a mini.
I'm glad we have more naked Farron in our lives. Like, that can never be a bad thing. Naked Farron is always a good.
I'm waiting for the swimsuit calendar.
God, please no.
I'd like them to make that and then just have it like hanging in random spots in Divinity's Reach for people to find.
Well, apparently it was made in the lore.
Yeah.
That's how it
was made, so it would be nice if we could like actually like see it.
Sleazy alleyway, like ripped out pages lying on the floor.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
God, let's say no more about that. So that's the gemstone news. Whole load of sales. Go and have a look. There's just loads. Like we haven't even mentioned half the stuff is on sale, but go and have a look. So in community news, did you mention this last week? This giveaway.
What?
The Mundo game.
Yes,
contest?
but it has been extended by a month.
So if you haven't yet entered Mundo Games contest, it's extended to the 28th of September. Do you want to explain what this is? Because I feel like you could probably do a better job than I can about how it works.
So basically what it is you donate 10 ectos to the admin over at Mundo Game, and that enters you into the contest. And then that's it. You're entered, and then you are eligible to win prizes. Any of the prizes that they have. They've got gems. They've got I think I saw last night that they have over 25,000 gems worth of prizes. Plus, they've got a couple of precursors that they're giving away, minis, all sorts of things. So you can go check it out and enter to win.
Indeed. So we've contributed a bit to it. Yeah, go and win some stuff.
Yeah.
So there was also the anniversary edition of Guild Chat that happened, because obviously last episode was on Thursday, right before that. And so devs were kind of talking about the festivals, and kind of just a big old reminisce session about everything.
It went like almost 2.5, 3 hours almost.
Yeah, it was almost 3 hours. I think it was like 2:45, something like that.
Yeah, it was a long show, but it was cool.
It was nice seeing. Yeah, it was nice hearing about all these behind the scenes facets of the game's production throughout the years. That was really neat.
Yeah, I liked when they started talking about season 1 and how it pushed their technology to the limits, basically, and made them improve and just add on things and expand. And it was just neat. Even hearing about things that I didn't get to experience, like Dragon Bash, were neat to just hear the devs talking about how it came about and how everyone just kind of came together and It seemed like there was a really good time for creativity at the studio.
What always like comes through about this is how like passionate everyone really is at ArenaNet about what they produce.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is always like really cool to see. And so speaking of anniversary messages,
Yes.
I
Segue.
and other partners also contributed our own to a message to a video that ArenaNet released on Monday.
Yes, that
mark?
sounds right.
This is where a load of partners have come together to wish Guild Wars 2 a big happy birthday, including myself. And I haven't actually watched it back because I'm too afraid to see myself. But I hear it's an awesome video.
It's a pretty cool video. You did okay, Rowan. You did okay.
There we go.
Don't sweat it.
That's all I want to hear.
Yeah, you did fine.
Your hair looked great. It was perfect.
Jace said that to me. I was like,
Did he really?
yeah.
Thank you for complimenting my hair.
Yeah. So that's the news. Let's move on to our discussion points this week. So we're going to kick off, as we're like segueing from the anniversary stuff, into Aaron and anniversary. I can't think of a word I haven't already used. Whatever points to make. Whilst Aaron has a little
nostalgia.
sneeze. Nostalgia.
I just want everyone to know that I just had epic sneezes. They
Thank
were
you for
they were
muting
anniversary
that.
they were anniversary sneezes. You guys needed to.
Anniversary edition.
Yeah.
So you and Age obviously talked about yours last week. Any highlights from that? Because I actually didn't watch it.
Okay, I'll forgive you because I was late trying to get that VOD edited and spliced back together. Yeah, we talked about just how cool it was to experience the wonder of the game when we first went in and got to see all the different players from around the world coming in when game launched, and just discovering all the new different things that Tyria had to offer. Like now it's we run around the world and it's like, oh, no big deal. But when we first went in, it was like, oh my gosh, look at this, look at that. So just the wonder of the game that Living World with opening up new maps is able to bring back. And we talked about the state of the different game modes. It's nice to see, that World versus World, for example, is getting love again. And just to see how, for example, the PvP scene is improving from where it began to where it is now. So, our TLDR was that we're hopeful for the future, and we're glad we've stuck around for this long.
Indeed.
Definitely.
I completely agree. I've known loads of friends that have kind of moved on over the years, and it's nice to still be here, I guess. Because like Guild Wars 1 for me was like my total childhood, because I think I started playing first game maybe when I was about 12, maybe 13.
Yeah, I started when I was 12 too.
So it's been like we maybe even bumped into each other like in Guild Wars 1, never even knew.
Yeah. I don't know, were you on NA or EU?
I kind of just floated between like all of them. So who knows?
I mean, I guess they use districts in Guild Wars 1, so we totally I totally forgot about the district system. I was like, oh yeah, that was awesome.
I don't know why that. I wonder why that didn't make it back over. I mean, I know that the data centers are supposedly in different places, but surely they had their data centers in different places before, and they had the district system working.
I think it's because of how Guild Wars 1 was hub based versus how Guild Wars 2 is more open map based.
Yeah.
I think that's the deal there.
Because everything in Guild Wars 1 was basically an instance.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
It was neat that we could just go into different districts on the different, in the different regions and, hang out with players from all around the world, not just from our own region.
Yeah. But
so, Guild Wars 2 over the years, man. Because I did that stream before that Guild Chat episode we talked about last Friday, and I just rambled about all my Guild Wars 2 memories like the whole time. But a few of my highlights were the time, like 2 weeks into the game, and I'd just been gathering and killing things for 2 straight weeks, and I finally decided to sell my whole bank, and I made a whole 2 gold. And I was like really proud of myself, because back then 2 gold was worth way more, and I was super excited.
you remember
and
when
that was
go on?
like, remember when precursors were like 50 gold? That was when that was. Like,
Yeah.
that might have even been before anybody even got a precursor drop. And then, like, the milestones, like buying my first tier 3 cultural armor and buying my first, like, expensive thing, which was an aetherized pistol for 190 gold.
Right.
Yeah, and then, Silver Waste came out, and then that's the end of my life. Like, Silver Waste came out, and then my life just descended into Silver Waste. And that's all it's been since.
How long did it take you guys to level to 80 on one of your characters?
Oh, incredibly long.
It took me ages, actually. Because I think like it launched in August, like late August, didn't it? So I'd have been when Guild Wars 2 launched. I was in, well, you'd call
11th grade.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
I was a senior, so you were either a senior or a junior. Oh yeah, but you
I don't
guys
know
have
what that
A levels
means.
over there, so
Yeah,
I don't know what was going on.
Differences.
I don't know what was going on in Britain.
But yeah, I was basically I don't know. I'd have been, how old have I been? 17, maybe. My maths isn't fantastic. And so it had been like right before term was starting. So I remember everyone else was like shouting at me because I still wasn't level 80 yet. And it was a good, like, it's the same thing that happens in Heart of Thorns. Like, I still...
Just like people shouting at you because you're still 100 mastery.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it took me... I didn't get level 80 until January 2013.
It didn't take me that long.
Yeah, see, it took me...
I took my time
long
with it.
Yeah.
I took my time with it, too. Like, I didn't... Flame and Frost was happening, and my highest level character was 57. And I went into Molten Facility on a 57, and I plugged it with a group of level 80s. It was really sad.
Also, around the like Halloween Karka-ish time frame, I wasn't playing nearly as much. I only played like a couple times a week, and so that's why my leveling progress really slowed through like November and December.
Yeah. So as Lint says, I was level 80 before the 3-day head start ended. That's dedication.
That's heavy.
That is power leveling right there.
I remember like I had the head start and a few of my friends didn't, and they'd already overtaken me within like a few days. I just felt so embarrassed.
Yeah, I can't even level that quickly now. I don't even think I can level that quickly with tomes because it takes at least like a week to click through all those tomes.
Yeah, right.
I'm surprised they haven't done a right-click consume all on the tomes, right?
Oh, that would be so cool. I'm so into that. Make it happen.
Yeah, I guess. It would be, yeah, that would be useful. I started actually like saving my tomes now, so I think I actually have enough to level up.
What did you do
What
with
have you
them
been doing
before?
with them before?
Well, I started using them across various other characters. And I didn't play, I didn't like, before really raids came out, like I didn't play that much between like Living World stuff. So I wouldn't even get like the daily
The daily tome.
yeah, and the daily logins and stuff. So now I
have,
started to hoard them.
I just used 80 tomes for that, or more like 40 because of our scrolls. But I used like 30 or 40 tomes to level my raid character, and I still have like 150 tomes in my bag.
Well, I donated a whole bunch to the guild hall, so I did use some there.
You can use them for guild hall?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
get used for certain levels.
Oh, that's super dope. I gotta look into that.
Come
I
and
hate
help
having them in my
GuildMag's
bank.
guild hall.
Yeah, they're the worst.
God. So then it says the Karka LA event. There was a rumor that if you had butter in your inventory, you would do extra damage. Was there? I've never heard of that.
I remember
before.
that rumor. Yeah, I remember that rumor.
That. Well, I just remember it being like a
That whole
slideshow.
Karka event. I just remember logging in or trying to log in and not being able to do anything. So I was like, well, I can't connect, so might as well just not even bother with it.
Yeah, I showed up for a hot second to that, and my frame rate was about 1.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I decided I can live
much.
without this.
Mhm.
Needless to
It
say,
would be
we've come
neat
a long way since then.
It would be neat if they did that event now. Like, just to see what it was supposed to be like, if they were
Yeah,
like to
'cause they
re-roll
could-
it.
Karka
Yeah,
rank
because
is-
we've seen with the open world events we get now that they can totally optimize that.
They
at
can
this
handle
point.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, everybody's since then, like, that was like 4 years ago, so everybody has upgraded their PCs by now. Welcome to PC gaming.
Right.
Exactly. So before, I guess, Living World kicked off and Silver Waste came out, what did you use to do in Guild Wars 2?
I used to do that really bad Frostgorge event train for
I
champ.
remember that.
The champ train up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do well when champ bags first were released in 2013 at Queen's Jubilee. I was on the very first Frostgorge champ train where it was just those 3 champs up in Drakar's Lake, and then it got more expansive, and I didn't like it anymore because I couldn't load fast enough in waypoints to keep up with the train. But then they came out with the Living World Season 2, and the Coiled Watch train started, and that was where the money was at, right? But then I only started that like a month before Silver Waste, and then Silver Waste came out, and it was over. It was just over.
I remember when that champ train first came out, I did it solidly for about a week, and then I just went. I started like the next Monday or whatever. I just did it, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I really wanted to be able to carry on farming it because it was like really lucrative. Yeah. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and I'd do it for like 10 minutes, and I'd like log out and be like, no, I'm done.
Because that was when I finally decided to start saving for a legendary. And so I was like, I'm going to do this farm for the legendary. And it was really starting to get to me because I was like, all right, I'm still saving for my precursor. What's happening? And then Silver Waste came out, and that's the only reason I have legendaries now, is because Silver Waste came out.
I know. Didn't you get like 3 of them?
Yeah, and I farmed all of them in Silver Waste.
I hate you.
That's awesome.
You got 2.
I have 1, but I mean, it's not because I farmed 1 map. You know what I mean? I hate farming.
You saved for years since like launch, didn't you? And then you got it like 2 months ago.
No, I actually went. You know what inspired me to continue going on the quest for Twilight was that Rowan was like, I want Twilight, and I was like, I have to beat him.
Don't you have both now, Rowan? Don't you have Sunrise and Twilight?
Rowan
you
has
have
both,
Eternity. No, I have. I'm one of those
have you?
Eternity. I don't want to swear, but like the Eternity. I can't think of a word that's not a swear word right now.
Eternity's not a thing.
One of those guys.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that walks around with 2 legendaries in one.
Yeah,
I used to hate them, and now I'm one of them. I used to be like, oh, look at that idiot over there with Eternity. Like, who does he think he is? And now I am one of those people.
There you go.
Before
happily so.
Before the Frostgorge train, before champ bags were a thing, I used to do that event farm in Curse Shore at Penitent and Shelter camps, where a bunch of people would just spawn a whole bunch of undead at the events, and you'd literally just farm the heavy moldy bags from the drops. And you could still make like 5 gold an hour there, which back in 2013 was a big deal.
Yeah,
now that's terrible money.
I remember I used to do all the dungeon like speed clearing stuff each day. That used to be
I
my
never
life for
did dungeon
ages.
speed clearing. I could never, because I didn't like. Now that I've actually I've done it since, and I'm like, oh, this was really easy. I should have done this when it was a thing, but I never did it back then because I was always scared that it was gonna be like raiding. But then dungeons are super easy, so I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
I haven't done COF in ages, but it used to be ridiculously quick. You could do.
Yeah, I never got on the COF farm, which I understand was the best gold farm.
Yeah, it was. The paths were stupidly quick to do if you just skipped all over it. But
crazy.
Yeah, now they're not so lucrative.
Zlint says he used to do key farming. Yeah, I used to key farm.
I remember that.
I used to key farm when it was a lot easier. Now there's like a bunch of barriers. Like you got to get to level 10 and stuff.
10.
Which is another thing a lot of people use their tomes and level birthday scrolls for is Black Lion key farming.
The thing is with the Black Lion key farming now, it's like, I don't know, because you have to wait. It doesn't. I don't know.
I think you can only get one a week, isn't it, or one a day? Is it one a day or one
the thing before they nerfed it or before they put in the new player experience, you could basically run up to what is now through the level 20 steps on like a level 5.
Yeah.
You could seriously beat it all. I mean, especially if you went in with a Guardian, you could beat the whole thing. It was so
That was
quick.
what I would go in on, was a Guardian, and I
Yep.
could do that
Yep.
at like level 4 and have the Black
God.
Light key.
Mm-hmm.
Been
For
maining
sure.
my Guardian for 4 years. You know back in the podcast a few months ago, I was like, oh yeah, Herald's gonna become my new main. I'm never gonna touch
Yeah, and it
Dragon
hasn't.
Hunter again.
Do you even have a level 80 Revenant yet?
Yeah, that's what I
He
raid
does,
on.
yeah.
I raided my Herald, but it hasn't made its way into my everyday main yet.
Well, when we raid, you go on a Druid.
Yeah,
So what's the deal? Like, why haven't you switched over?
I think it's
Like, what's
because
kept you with Guardian?
I can't use Eternity on my Herald. I think that might be the only reason.
You really have become one of those guys.
I think because Guardian's just like, I don't even have to think about it anymore. It's literally just, you just do it. Like it's just
Muscle
one of those
memory.
things. Yeah. So I just like go on it and I play it. So maybe when I get some more legendaries for my Herald, I might swap.
I originally mained a warrior, and then that was my first character. And then I made an engineer, and I was like, whoa, this is way better. And so I mained an engineer for like 2 years, and then I switched to Guardian. Not necessarily because I like Guardian better, but because all the legendaries I wanted fit with my Guardian. And you have to be, like Rowan, I have to be playing on my character that has the legendaries.
How else will people know that you're rich and amazing?
Exactly. I'm not it, guys. I have like 1.5 gold right now. It's pretty amazing.
Oh my God, really?
Yes, because I've been buying all
Wow,
this
give me
stuff.
some.
I've been buying all this stuff for Ascended Crafting, so I'm broke.
You need to raid.
I'm broke, he says, at 1.5. I'm sitting at like 100 and something. I never recovered after
Dude.
Twilight.
No, when you're making that, you just permanently broke. Anyway, off topic. Let's move back. So,
Oh, sorry.
if you had one favorite moment out of all of them in the last 4 years, Aaron, could you pick one?
Oh man.
Put you on the spot
yeah,
here.
I could. The time when I first crafted Flameseeker Prophecies, I didn't tell any of my friends, and I just equipped it and waited until they noticed. And it was pretty amazing when they finally noticed that I had a legendary, and that's everybody like flipped out. So that was probably my favorite moment from Guild Wars 2 for me.
Nice. I don't even know if I could answer this question. Like, because when we had to do it for the partner video, I was like, genuinely thought, do I have a favorite moment? And I don't know if I do. Like, I feel like my favorite moment might even be like outside the game, because I really enjoyed Gamescom last year. Certainly wasn't this
Last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
And all the drinks that ArenaNet paid for at the open community party bar. That was a good. That was
basically the community. The community.
I'll enjoy that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's probably like just being part of the community, and obviously being part of GuildMag and getting to work with like so many different people to produce content.
Oh yeah, no, going to PAX for free was pretty sweet. That might have been one of my favorite moments.
Wow. So if anyone was expecting any deep, like, amazing stories about Guild Wars 2, you probably came to the wrong.
Also, every awesome thing that's happened to me in World v World, like, there's too many crazy situations that have happened in World v World for me to remember a specific best one, but just so many like holy crap moments in World v World.
In terms of what you've been able to PvP
Like-
win fights that you win, or what?
Well, no, just like the crazy things that happen, like when you're in a small Zerg of like 10 people, and you stack up and buff up and get commanded into wiping out a Zerg of 25 people. Like, that's an amazing moment, and things like that I've seen and have participated in World v World, or when you lead 100-man Zerg across a bridge and then blow it up in Edge of the Mist and they all fall to their deaths. You know, there's all those moments are super crazy.
Yeah, I think those moments where the community of players comes together and achieves something. For me, the Twisted Marionette was like that. It was just that was before Mega Server, so we had that overflow system. Do you remember that? And our server would I'd constantly end up going into an overflow, and people would be like, "Oh no, overflow! We're never going to beat this." And it's like, "Hey, don't knock it. Overflow's been taking it down like every time." And just to see people come together and cheer each other on,
that
which we
was-
get now with like some of the meta events now.
Yeah, whenever Marionette's a good one to bring up, because whenever people talk about good boss fights at Guild Wars 2, Marionette's always one of the first ones people bring up. Because that was, and it was, what's impressive about it is how early it was. That was back, like, we'd never seen anything quite like that when it came out. I don't know if Tequatl was out before Marionette was, but I think Marionette was still even a little bit more complicated than Tequatl, even if it wasn't as hard.
I think Tequatl came after.
After?
I feel like it
I
probably
think
did.
so, because it was all tied with Scarlet. So, or no, well, no, Tequatl was with the Zaitan, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I
So
think
he
with his,
he got buffed
rework-
after. So
Okay, I don't know. Someone will probably correct
Yeah.
us.
yeah.
So, speaking of living worlds, not that we really were, but we'll segue on. I'll take the weak segue I can, Scarlet, into current events. So, I have no idea how to say this name. Seis? It's not Seis.
There you go.
It's Seis.
Seis.
Seis will
Yeah,
do.
Let's
We'll
just
call
go
it Seis.
Seis.
Pretty safe.
So Seis Bernhardt has now moved into Lorna's Pass, is the latest. It is a she, right? I'm not like...
It is a she. Yes,
yeah,
it is a
okay.
she.
So this is the current event that started last Tuesday,
Yes.
I think. But
Yes.
then like everything kind of broke for a day or two, so...
Yeah.
But,
Well, a day.
says this is the whole tremors are coming from the north current event thing, which Sandra kindly finally took me through last night after I realised I hadn't actually done any of it. And so the basic premise is, I guess, you go around collecting these stray magic things, and I don't even know what are they actually called. Do they have a proper name? I feel like they probably do, but I didn't.
They're just like stray little bits
Yeah.
of magic,
Basically.
or lay magic.
And they kind of lead you through each map. And you have a little device thing that's bound to your special action key. And it's kind of a bit like the whatever the device was called for the last thing that kind of showed the bloodstone crazed bosses that were up.
Levy's device.
Yeah, so it's a bit like that. It'll kind of show you the direction and then light up red, blue or green depending on your like proximity to them. And it's okay. It's okay. Like, it keeps you occupied, I guess, for, I don't know, it took me like maybe 10-15 minutes per map.
Yeah.
And so there's currently 3 out of 5 maps available. I think the big thing about this is a lot of people on Reddit, I guess, think it's leading to something like actually like more interesting, kind of leading us somewhere. So there's 2 kind of prevailing theories. One is that it's leading us south to Mount Maelstrom, and another is that it could potentially be going to Rasasum instead. Because so there is a like a spoiler alert. I guess it's a spoiler if you haven't like yet done the Lorna's Fast thing. So mute us for like 5 seconds. Is that the next location is Bloodtide Coast, and so you could either potentially the trail could like carry on then going west somehow to like Southland Cove, or like just skip straight over to Rasasum. Or
That's interesting that it's Bloodtide Coast again. I mean, Bloodtide Coast is just south of Lion's Arch,
yeah,
which, as
or
we know,
go
was
to
blown
Lion's
up.
Arch, just
And
creep back up, and
Right,
LA is
that's
destroyed
just-
once
that's-
again.
That's
Yeah.
just every
How many
season.
times?
Every season, just destroy LA.
Yep.
And we won't see it
okay.
coming any of the times. It'll always be a surprise.
I think after maybe like the 4th or 5th time, it might get a bit predictable.
No, nobody will
Right.
ever see it coming. They'll be like, well, this time they won't do it. No, I could see Mount Maelstrom because it's like a destroyer hub, right? So
Well, yeah,
it
the
would be-
theory is that you're kind of following Primordius's. Was it like the path he took when he awoke or something like that? I didn't read too deeply
think so.
into like the Reddit theories. but it would. I think that would make more sense to kind of be going towards Mount Maelstrom and all Destroyer stuff.
Because Blood Tide takes you to sort of close to the southern Shiver Peaks.
Well, it takes you to
woods.
Sparkfly Fen, right?
Sparkfly Fen.
So
And
you go
then-
Lornar's Pass and then you go like that way.
Right.
So it's
And then-
2 zones away from Maelstrom.
Yeah.
Because there's a portal in Maelstrom in Sparkfly Fen. So it's definitely on the way.
Yeah.
It's heading that direction.
But if you, like other people are saying, it could go to Rasasum for some reason. Well, because obviously the Azura are completely connected
Right.
with Primordis. But I don't think that's as likely because it's like crossing a giant ocean. Well, not giant ocean, but a large, vast.
Ooh, maybe they're coming. Ships are coming to Guild Wars 2. Player-owned ships. That's
What?
obviously
Next mass
that's
tier.
obviously what this means, right?
How did you get there?
Exactly
You said there was an ocean. I put 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think Mount Maelstrom is probably more likely. But it's interesting that there's, I guess if we are going there, like maybe in the next episode or even before then with this current event stuff, like that they're pushing Primordus so quickly after like, cause it doesn't feel like that long ago that we like killed off Mordor.
We just
right?
took out. Exactly, yeah.
So it's interesting that we're like rapidly going on to like the next dragon already. I was kind of expecting more of he'd just be a background threat for maybe a few episodes before
Right.
we actually.
Keep in mind, this is all current events, though. We're still episode 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this could just be like some background stuff, and maybe like people are just reading too much into it because it's the only content we kind of have at the moment in regards to story.
Yeah, they're probably reading into it a little too much, but they definitely wouldn't be putting it in if it didn't mean anything. So
But yeah.
they're probably reading in the right direction. They just might be going a little overboard.
Slint brings up in chat that the Steamspur Mountains are a blank little area down near Sparkfly Mount Maelstrom as well. So maybe another Bloodstone map.
Mhm.
Considering the theory with Unbound Magic currency referencing possibly multiple maps.
Mhm.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, it could be heading to where the Bloodstone that's buried under the Shiver Peaks is.
Which
is-
you
that's
can
the right
access
direction.
from Straits of Devastation,
Mhm.
right?
Something-
Well, you
somewhere
can't
around
get
there.
to the Bloodstone itself. You can get to the entrance to the
To
Bloodstone.
the entrance of
right?
the
And you can't-
caves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go in,
So
Mhm.
but that could be where we're
Okay.
headed as well.
yeah.
That would be really cool.
Mhm.
I'd like to see how if they were to take us back underground, which we talked about this a couple of shows ago.
Mm-hmm.
How would we get there? How would they open us up?
Oh, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Asura explosive technology.
I mean, the theory on
Irrigates
Reddit is that
everywhere.
the volcano is going to drain, right? And that's going to be our entrance down into the caverns.
I don't think that's gonna
That's-
happen.
I don't think that's going to. I don't know
Do
that will.
volcanoes do that? Do they drain? I'm not
I
a
know.
geologist,
I'm not really
right?
sold on that one.
I think the
Like, I'm
theory
not a
that Primordus
geologist,
was eating the
I
lava
feel
or
like
something.
they don't drain.
Lava's
Unless
not food.
Primordus needed a drink and he was like, Mount Maelstrom, perfect.
I'm not
Yeah, I
totally
think.
convinced on that.
But I mean, I think the idea of the connection with the volcano is an interesting one.
Yeah.
And I could see it. I could see them doing something there because it is big enough that you could do something with it.
Yeah.
That area of Mount Maelstrom.
So in terms of like the actual, you can't really call them mechanics, but kind of mechanics of how this content actually works. So Sandra and I guess have a small pet peeve with it, in the it kind of when you activate the whatever it's called, like the tracking device thingy,
Right.
it kind of clips into the snow, and there's a lot of snow in the Shiver Peaks. So if you're
Yeah.
not on like an even surface, or
Lo-
if you're not like on a surface where you're higher than where the thing around you is going to spawn, if that makes any sort of sense, it will
Yes.
just like clip into the
Clip
snow,
into the ground.
and you
Yeah.
can't really see it, which is
Well, and this was a.
oh, go on.
I was going to say this was the problem as well with Levy's device, in that the little animals showing up for the Bloodstone craze things were clipping into the ground if you weren't on a level surface either.
Yeah. So it does make it kind of hard to see. Like I was saying to Sandra last night when we were doing this, like surely it'd be better if it was just like above your character's head or something instead. So that there's another like clipping issue.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they haven't fixed it yet, but maybe they're working on it.
I mean, it's only like a small piece of content. It doesn't take long to complete, so I wouldn't be surprised if it just kind of stayed the way it is.
They just left it.
It's kind of just more like, I mean, I like that they're doing content between these patches, like every 2 weeks, little things to kind of keep people like reminded there's an actual story going on here. These things are like actually happening, rather than just being like episode nothing, sort of, for a couple of months.
Right, and the fact that you can replay the content, like that, one of the big criticisms from season 1, I think it was, with the 2-week cadence, was that there was no replayability. Like, at least for these, you can go back and still complete the current events or whatever that came before. Even if there aren't as many people around, you can still complete them if you want to, or attempt to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we'll just wait and see where we end up with this one, and if anything interesting comes of it.
I'm interested to see, because it's 5 locations in this time, and no one's really been able to predict what the timer rotation is for Seis to move. So the first time when she moved to Snowdon, it was 5 days, and then to Lornar's it was 3. From Sunday, she moved yesterday, right? Last night.
Something like
that. Yes, and so now we've got 2 more maps to go. So, I mean, people at first were thinking that if she was moving every week or so, that then at the end of that, then we'd get episode 2. But now they're throwing the timing off, so when are we getting episode 2? Because I think it could be a way that they would segue into episode 2.
How long has it been since episode 1 was released?
July 26th.
Yeah, smidge over, like a month and a week.
Okay. I feel like we're probably still a little while off episode 2 yet.
At least, because they said 2 to 3 months, so probably at least a month off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unless that, maybe the next current events thing will tide us over, and it'll be a way to, bridge the two.
I think these current events patches are doing a good job of tiding people over, because I think what people want more than, or what the majority of Living World fans want more than gameplay, is story. So I think it's doing a good job of, keeping them occupied between episodes.
It keeps people talking, right? Like keeps theories floating and stuff, which we wouldn't be here doing this now if this wasn't happening.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Age and I brought that up last week, that it just, these little things just keep people talking. And one of the things was, yeah,
indeed,
absolutely. So if you keep the tongues wagging or something, I don't even know what I'm going for here, but yeah.
So, speaking of story, a story that Aaron hasn't read.
I know, I've been buried in work. Like, when I'm not working this week, I have to go, I have things every evening that I have to go do, so I haven't been able to read the story yet.
So this is a kind of cool little beginning of a story, I guess, series that I'm assuming all going to be going out on the Guild Wars 2 blog.
Yes.
About it's developed by Leah Hoyer and Ross Beasley, who are members of the narrative team. I kind of forgot to speak for a second. And this came out of a convention called MomoCon, a panel they were doing, where the fans that kind of attended the panel actually kind of, I guess, built these characters and kind of the general overarching concept of the story. And so the kind of the general scenario is that there's this little Azura called, what's the Azura called? I've totally forgotten. Vicky, that's it. Vicky, with her.
Her name is really Vicky.
VIKKI,
yes.
not like VI.
Oh man, my Asura's name is Vicky.
Oh, you spelled the same way.
There you go.
Not cool, man.
And she has a bright pink moa called Momo. And the overall story is they set out to kind of travel Tyria. I won't say, like, I guess why, in case you, like, haven't read it yet and want to go read it. But it seems like it's going to be, I guess, an interesting little, I guess, side story to...
Like, it feels, what it feels like, because I've skimmed it briefly, right? What it feels like is, it's not, but it feels like a comic, kind of.
Yeah.
That's, like, the level of storytelling, I feel like, is around, in the realm of a comic.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so according to Sandra, that character is actually going to show up in game, but I haven't been able to find where it says this. And she's just gone quiet on me, so I'm going to assume that I'm correct, and that I don't know.
I think she said she has to mute whenever people come in the room, so that's probably what happened.
Sorry about that. That's what happened. Exactly.
So I've totally forgot what I was going to say.
I mean, go read the story, guys. I know I'm going to after the episode.
I like that her background is that she is sort of countercultural Azura.
Yeah,
So
guys, if you have not, because I'm looking at it on the website now, if you haven't seen this character, she's just kind of a hipster. Like, if you look at her, the hipster is real. Also, I like that her moa is like bright pink, but also totally metal with its like 4 spiked collars. That's pretty neato. So I'm in. I'm gonna read it after the podcast.
And so yeah, I guess there's not really that much to say about this story. I guess it'd be interesting. I guess kind of fun to see what happens throughout their travels through Tyria. And it's quite the actual premise is quite a kind of almost tragic one. In the reason they're going to travel. But yeah, I guess, I mean, it's not going to be any like massive lore impacting epic story or anything. I think it's just like a nice little side project for I think it's Leah and Ross who will exclusively be writing it. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I guess a side project for the narrative team.
I think it's a cool idea.
And apparently the character will be appearing in game, but I have no confirmation of that. So Sandra's not here to tell me otherwise.
What do you mean? I linked you. I mean,
it can't be difficult to just plunk the NPC down in, wherever, and maybe scooter around every so often, kind of like they did with Nicholas the Traveler in Guild Wars 1. I don't know that they'd put in the whole reward system that they had there, but I could see them like moving this character around like once a week.
Right.
So as Lynn says, did you guys actually talk about the Bloodstone Weapons last week? Sandra.
I know I didn't get to.
Well, no, we didn't get to. So let's have. So now that Lynn,
have your moment with the Bloodstone, because.
So what do you think of the Bloodstone Weapons, Aaron?
Well, here's the deal. I don't like the Bloodstone Weapons.
Wait, what?
You're a heretic.
I actually love them. Like, this is the first weapon set in ages that I've genuinely been like, I'll have that one and that one and that one
and that one.
I got like 6 of them.
I got 3. Okay.
Whatever.
I haven't actually got any yet, but I really want some. So if anyone wants to, like, are the skins account bound?
No. I mean, you can trade them on the trading post.
Okay, so if anyone wants to buy me some of the skins.
These ones are going to be expensive too, because everybody likes them.
I'm not saying I'll dedicate an entire page in our magazine to you, but what I am saying is that I might do. But yeah,
I mean, my problem with them is half of them just look bad. But the swords have 2 long handles.
No, the sword is amazing.
The great sword is a spear. It's not a great sword. It's a spear. And I don't like the shield because I don't know why. I think the shield is like too thick. Like its broadness is fine, but if you turn it, it's too thick.
You know what this is? This is an exact repeat. If you remember, when is it the feathered weapons that came out?
Feathered weapons.
Oh, I can't remember what they're called.
Tengu ones, the soaring weapons.
Yeah, that's the ones.
The soaring,
something like that. The ones with all like the feathers. Or something I can't
Yeah,
remember.
you didn't like those.
No, because I thought they're too thick, and you were like, "Oh no, but they're all like this." I'm like, "No, they're too chunky."
I don't know.
Maybe
I
I'm thinking of a
didn't really
different
like that
weapon set.
I think I might have just been arguing with you for the sake of
But
it.
like, it's totally reversed now. Like, they're fine.
No, I don't. The only one that I thought was kind of okay was the axe.
Oh, I really
axe is
want
nice.
the sword for my Revenant. I think everyone wants a sword for their Revenant though, but like I really want the sword for my Revenant. It's just like
This
it's
is
just
how I feel about
bloodstone-y
them.
and red, and what's not to like? It's just you need to get out of this podcast.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
I mean, I tried to tell people the Gallant weapon set was one of the best they'd ever come out with, and nobody was buying
No,
it.
You just have a twisted sense of
yeah.
fashion in this game.
that's it.
Also, my favorite Black Lion weapon set ever was the Kinky Bondage one, the Merciless weapon sets. That was the best one. 10 out of 10 on that weapon set. I need to go back to that.
Oh man. So that's what we think of the Bloodstone weapons. I like them. How they go? Like, how much are they selling for? The TP?
Probably well over 100 gold.
TP probably like, yeah, you can
Yeah,
expect them to be
the
starting at around
typical,
75
like,
gold. Starting.
75. Yeah, I guess there's still one ticket,
Yeah.
so they won't be over
Because they're only
100.
one ticket right now, so the
Once-
price is going to be still quite low.
Yeah, once they go up to 2, it'll go over
I'm gonna have to
100.
get on that
Mhm.
quickly. So as Lint says, my main problem with the Bloodstone weapons is it feels like any sort of force will separate the Bloodstone from the metal. They look flimsy. It's magic, Lint. That's how it's
They
held
look
Yeah.
a
together.
little, I think what he's saying is they look a
Like
little
they could shatter.
They look a
Yeah.
little Stone Age.
It's magic.
No.
We leave them
Bit
alone.
magic.
hunter-gatherer.
They just look
The
nice.
I know that the Warhorn, I picked up the Warhorn.
The Warhorn is
and-
actually pretty cool. Like, I will admit,
Yeah.
the Warhorn is, like, because Warhorn skins are awful, right? So,
But
I
it does
the
look like
War-
this, like the end of it looks like a ruby, so it does look like it could shatter, but
Yeah.
it does look nice.
I will agree with you that the Bloodstone Warhorn looks good.
There you go.
I'll
see?
take it.
Mhm.
So one thing that I wanted to spring on you guys, because I forgot to put this in the show notes, that I
Oh.
thought we'd be able to end the show on since we're coming up to the time soonish anyway, is that so you two, the first time on Sunday, had a
Yes.
little tootle around in Vale Guardian for a couple of hours.
Mhm.
I thought that we haven't actually talked about raids in any sort of capacity for a while on this show.
After we ran them into the ground, pretty much.
Yeah, so I feel like
Like-
it's time to bring back the tradition of really ramming raiding discussion into the ground. And I thought I'd get your like initial first impressions on Vale Guardian raiding in general, and I guess backstory if anyone who hasn't seen any previous episodes. So we first time last week we started the GuildMag training group for raids, which consists of people who have never raided before, and many of them have never even run like a meta build before, and so a couple of the actual GuildMag raiders have been will each week be like teaching them how to kill each boss. And so on Sunday we did 2 hours of Vale Guardian. How did you find it? What are your thoughts?
It
I'll
was
let Aaron go first.
it was not. I thought it was going to be really bad, and it wasn't that bad. There was no
Yeah.
toxicity, which was nice. That was my main reason I didn't want to raid, because I just didn't want, because I've been there in Guild Wars 1, right? Like, I've been the elite content guy before, and I just didn't want to go back to the constant bickering and fighting and, yeah, you died, you ruined the raid. I didn't want to go back to that, but
You didn't want that.
our training group is really chill. It's really mellow. I was just like, hey, Rowan, I just lost us the entire fight, and he was like, all right, wipe it, no big deal. So it was pretty
Yeah.
great. I only got teleported like 9 times.
Yeah.
There we go. What about you, Sandra? What did you? Because you've done a little bit of Vale Guardian before, right?
I've done Vale Guardian with our main group, and I know that when I went in with the main group, I felt like I was trying to keep up, and the mechanics were somewhat explained before we started. So I found part of that run a bit frustrating, but this time through, I was able to take my time, and it was good that we kept failing. I thought, because it gave me a chance to, tweak things and figure out my rotation in a way that felt more, natural and learning. Because I usually will take my time with things when I'm learning things, especially in game, hard content. So yeah, it was fun. I thought it was fun.
There we go. So is it?
And I thought we did better than expected.
Yeah,
we did way better than I expected.
For
we
the
got
first
it down,
time.
I think our best
To like
health
58
percentage
or
was
something?
58. Yeah, 58%.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to get it down that far the first
yeah,
time.
it was like
I was happy with that.
you know what?
Yeah.
Even, it went better than I was expecting, because these are like how many did we have? 8 players? No, was it 7?
I think we had like
7 or 8?
6 or 7 that were brand new.
It was me and 2 group. Yes, there were 3 of us from the main raid group, on Sunday. So seven players who up until that point had basically never raided before. I'd say a good 5 of them did not have never run like a meta build. Had always run things with like extra toughness and vitality and stuff. So we're not used to being as squishy as they are. Weren't used to like having an actual rotation to do rather than just like spam whatever skill you feel like sort of thing. And we did pretty well. How did you find like? Did you feel like you were concentrating and like really focusing a lot more than you normally would when playing the game?
Yeah, I was
yes.
really. I mean, I was focusing on A, not getting hit by things, and then B, trying to also get my rotation down. And luckily, guys, Tempest rotation super easy, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was the right amount of focus. Like, it wasn't too stressful. It was I still had fun, even though it was challenging.
Yeah.
So
I liked that because I'd done it before. I was able to kind of, that part. Some of the mechanics, they were a bit more familiar. Hold on a second. You guys can you continue talking? I've got someone in the office.
Oh God, she's got visitors, guys.
So yeah,
but
go on.
I thought the raid was super fun. I can't wait to get Veil Guardian down. From what I understand, we still have like 3 phases that we haven't even touched, so should be interesting.
You've got 2 more phases you haven't seen, but they're basically the same as like once you've got the first like 3 phases down, like the last 2 are pretty much the same, just ramped up a bit. So
okay.
I feel like
I think
I'm much more optimistic than I was before we started that we can actually kill VG.
I think the main thing I'm having trouble with is being aware of where damage is coming from. Because half the time I'll just be doing my thing and I think I'm safe, and then it's like, oh, I'm down. What happened? And most of the time,
exactly.
Most of the time it's because the Veil Guardian turned around and I didn't notice, and now I'm getting hit by the cleave. But sometimes it's because I was in a red circle or something like that. So being aware of the plethora of different things that can damage you is my number 1 challenge right now.
It's totally that. And it's because like, I guess especially with you're not used to like having no extra toughness or vitality. On your build,
I play a full.
You run a lot of toughness builds
most of the time.
So it's like things that would tickle you in other builds will now like take off half your health. So it's definitely, and the thing I find most fun about raids is it is much more like you have to actively think about what you're doing, rather than just staring at your screen and spam 1 or whatever.
It is cool to see that legendary health bar melt that quickly, though. Like that's pretty impressive. And we're doing it slow too. We haven't even gotten our DPS to where it needs to be.
Yeah, no, we're I think about a minute behind or something like that. A little bit less than that, but we'll get there. So I think that about brings us to the end of this episode. So big thank you to everyone who's joined us live in Twitch chat today. God, I can't speak today. We are live every Sunday at 8 p.m. GMT / 1 p.m. Pacific. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go. 1 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv /GuildMag. Big thank you if you've been watching us on the Guild Wars 2 channel. We are here every week, but not always every week on the Guild Wars 2 one. But on GuildMag, we're here every week.
Yes.
And if you missed any part of this episode, you can catch the VOD on our website, guildmag.com, or on youtube.com/guildmag, like a day or two after we finish. And so, yeah, next week, no idea what we're going to talk about. We'll find something to talk about. And hopefully...
I'll have read the story so we can talk more about it.
There we go. Hopefully we'll see you then. Oh, streams. Sandra, are you streaming tonight? No, you're not, because your internet's dead.
My internet is back. I may.
If she
But
figures it
I'll
out,
keep
she'll
you-
stream.
I'll keep you posted on our social media channels.
There you go. So that's at GuildMag on Twitter and Facebook.com/GuildMag. And we will see you in a week's time, hopefully. So bye, everyone.
Bye.